Hi.
Hello. Everything's terrible and messed up today.
Yes, it is.
Because of me, I messed up. It's not funny. It's not a joke. But I have these surveys that I usually pass out, and I forgot the tiny pencils that I usually would give you to answer them. So you're on your own and you have to work together. There's 4 variations of these surveys, so if you've done them in the past, you might get a different one this time. You could just pass them out. You don't have to give them back to me, that's really up to you. I think I'm gonna read some things for the last time. Not because I'm gonna kill myself. Okay. Nice to see you, thanks. I heard about a room in New York City where you could pay up to $300 an hour for a simulated experience of your room flooding during a torrential downpour. You could frantically scramble with a group of up to 5 friends to gather important papers, books, and photos off the floor, trying to save the evidence of your life, scooping water into buckets and pouring it into the toilet as fast as possible. It's some sort of excursion into inconvenience, like a game. My coworker told me that this was the only thing that could take his mind off the terrible death that haunts him. He signed up for a monthly membership. I told him it might make sense to become a plumber. When I was a child, our basement used to flood whenever it rained. It stopped happening when I got older. I'm not sure why. Similar to how I used to open oranges and see those tiny half-formed ones inside, baby oranges. I would revere these, very sacred. But now I never really see those. Maybe my coworker could go back in time and scoop my basement and marry my mother, and we would all have some different outcomes. But then perhaps that would only pivot our current deaths into some other deaths. Okay. I'm ready now. I'm ready to begin the effort of my life. I've done everything necessary to clear way. My brain is all ordered and the timing is perfect. Yes. Let's start now. I'm so excited, I can't wait. 3, 2, 1, whee! Hi everyone, it's me, Empty Hallway. I'm a little nervous tonight. I'm nervous to see you seeing me seeing you. And I'm worried I smell bad. And I'm worried that I only am saying that to seem relatable to you, like some weird illusion. On the phone with Grandma, she describes falling down in the driveway. I see her trip over the strap of the grocery bag in my head as I stare at the corner of the refrigerator, phone to my ear. I'm always failing people. Maybe I could have stopped it from happening had I been there, or at least picked her up quickly. And this is some evil thought I have, because I must be some sort of solution. And in my absence, the world is trialed and cold more than normal. On the phone, she's laughing, telling me about the fall and how she couldn't get up, and how my cousin Cora was unaware waiting in the car, and Grandma was worried that Cora would try backing up the car or something, and it would be one of those stories about accidentally running over Grandma. So she pulled herself to the side, crawling across the driveway, thinking, geez, that would just be great, right? Just great. The dream I keep having is about long pubes, conditioning them, making them supple, and knowing that the general public has no idea at all how I spend my time. I go to work and go home to sit by the candles and work on the conditioning of the long pubic hair as some sort of spiritual practice, indicative of my connection to the dead and dying and God. I tell my roommate about the dream, and she asked me to respect her boundaries. My grandpa's brother used to say, "Let me be frank for a moment." And then he'd just stand there. His name was Frank, so it was a killer joke. His only and his best. When he died, he didn't say anything, at least that's what I heard. He wasn't that fun or kind, and he never actually made that joke. I just said that to add character. All he did that I remember was call my grandpa every day to talk about other people. And the phone rings much less now, so that is one of the main symptoms. What was I saying? I'm just calculating some losses. I heard a couple talking, and one of them said, "I wish I was just a horse. They don't have to worry." And the other one of them said, "You know, you would probably be a depressing horse." Can you love for nothing? Can you love for nothing in return? There's free undercuts tonight at the lesbian bar. Last week was the supermoon. When I saw its red cheek, I screamed because I thought a hole had finally opened up. I thought something was happening. No one noticed or thought the sound odd, the scream, because there was a late-night soccer game going on near the park. Everyone was cheering, "Yes, yes, we love the game. It's the moon, not a secret door." I saw a girl I had a crush on at the bar and didn't approach her, only said to my friend, "That's Laura, that's Laura." "You say that like it means something," she said. Laura means nothing to her. Like Townsend Street isn't the street I grew up on, but to her, it's the corner she broke her elbow falling. "Laura, I broke my elbow. Please talk to me." I'm visiting my friends in New York City. The three girls sleep with their doors ajar, open like an agreement. When I leave in the morning, I lock the door behind me. On my mind, the rotation, waiting for a portal, Laura, waiting for a portal, Laura, waiting for a portal, Laura. It's not really even about Laura, is it? It's just about the waiting. It might not have even been her. My friend got an undercut. I made a list of tramp stamps. Tramp stamps. The secret conspiracy of man. I am no one here forced into being, for a limited time only. Super nothing, celery, bookcase, locksmith, a basement door, attic-spaced Honda Civic, careening into joyed hallways, shadowed rooms, silent marches. Loving despite, traversing the spiral interior, the heart open, the body on its back. The you who is not you, the me who is not me. How are we going to kill all this time? I picture myself a salted fish stacked against other salted fish somewhere dry. All my body is a long, outward stretch to meet your empty. No, all my body is the ringing of a bell, rippling outward towards the edge of every, spreading thinner, thinner, till... I don't know how this paper works. I try to make small talk. Will you be attending the Us Against the World event? I don't know where to find you. I don't even know which you I am talking about anymore. There's so many. You are not here anymore. and I am not here anymore, the way I was when you were here. Little girl said, "What made the world? Something has to be its mother, and if nothing is its mother, what is it?" And we talk about the invention of boats. Now we can travel the world, I say. "But I can't take a boat to see my father, he's dead," she says. "Yeah," I say. "Do you want more animal crackers?" "Yes, please." Hi, it's me, empty hallway. When someone I loved died, I thought it would kill me because of how strongly I loved them, but then I just stayed alive. Talking to my best friend on the phone, I say, "I just want to be authentic and real." He sighs and laughs. "Well, it's never gonna happen." I'm serious right now, that tonight I'll only tell the truth. Hand to God, all the way to God, hand to God, belly to the floor, sliding across the floor, hands on either side, pulling across the floor, a window on the far edge of the far wall, tipping light into the room, that room that is half dark always, that room which offers choice. The modern man's play is his uselessness. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? This wasn't so much a problem before. Before we would just do the things that had to be done, like collect the wood and gather what we needed for winter. But the modern man wonders what's his use, and we watch death on TV. I am so grateful, often and all the time. I love fruit. I'm so glad for it. I feel myself growing further from God sometimes when I am sitting on the porch, but I wonder if when I feel that way, it's because I did something that stirred the connection between me and whatever is sacred or holy. But then sometimes I think it's just because I can feel the absence of my mother, and when she was alive, I used to know the future more. I'd get special messages, and in the absence of the special messages, then I remember God. You don't know where I'm coming from, and thus assume me evil or boring. You don't know me or my tone. You don't know my tone, you're not sure how to take me, you're waiting to assess, or indifferent mostly. I made a mistake. I asked my boss if we could start having a communal deodorant stick in the office as a suggestion on how to boost morale. My coworker showed me his special pair of scissors. They were my mom's, he says. They're the type with the screws, so I have to tighten them sometimes. He sets them on the table and leaves the room. I rest my head next to them and touch my index to the screw slit. If I were him, I'd sleep with them next to me in bed. Maybe she was an evil, slanted woman, I don't know. But women who pass down scissors are a dying breed, maybe dead. I grow much closer to my coworker, feeling his mother's scissors. I think, maybe he's not so bad. When he comes back in, he says, "Sorry they're not sharp enough to kill yourself with." Please answer this brief questionnaire. How good are you at reacting to tragedy? Oh, me? I'm great at it, yeah. Super gracious, superhuman. I feel bad about the bad things and celebrate the little wins. I step out of my comfort zone sometimes to talk about difficult topics, mostly without alienating my peers. I looked up unethical in the dictionary and haven't gone to Starbucks. I texted my aunt about my concern for the whole world constantly dying, and she sent me a YouTube video on meditation. Your response has been recorded. In the dream, a man was chasing me with a knife. "Please, I'm going through a lot right now," I shouted back behind me as I ran. He started saying some terrible nonsense, but I couldn't hear over the sound of my feet. I don't want to read that one. I'm sorry, I got out of work late. One. I have lost something in a naked valley, departed from my own. I am at the bottom of the ocean, senseless to you. Open mouth, waiting for something to float by to feed. Only nothing fills me now. I have forgotten how to have a stomach. Whatever false promise bled over onto the every other has left me inept, concurrently unzipped from the good skin, which I wore well for quite a while. Wait, that is it now. Wait now. In muscled stillness, pinhole view, tiny pointed light. Make it so that you could even cover the last light with your finger and live like a creature with no eyes. 2, a prophetic worm died in the rain, and everything it knew was crushed in the morning under the school bus after a long night of being washed raw against the pavement. It wasn't anyone's fault. If I talk about sex and cum, you might like me for being provocative. If my mother died, you might like me for having character. If I sifted through the guts of a worm to find a death and did, you wouldn't believe me. 3, I am a system of corridors that turns to water each night. All these mazes all day, and then they just dissolve into some wash, like a tablet to help calm your stomach. Everything mixes, and I can see across the flat plain. I can see right into everything I couldn't before, but everything turns shiny and dark. And I hear a key drop into the water somewhere, but I can't find it. I try to pinpoint the exact moment when the dying is exactly dead, when the love is exactly love. My thoughts are minnowed, numerous, easily eaten. They are shapely, hard to look away from, silver. But all my theories are written in salt. I wash forks and knives in hot water, scrubbing away the mouth. All the time, there is something heading to us in this room, and all the rooms like it. I used to be alive before my great loss, but have been reduced to my great loss. My great loss of which you crave specificity, your great loss of which you crave comparison. Our great losses who become our names. It is not my name, this great loss. People mistake me for being a girl when I am just nothing that ever lived. Like, nothing, if it ever lived. I am like if you took nothing and hooked it up to wires and zapped it repeatedly and told it to live. Like if you took nothing, not a single thing, and told it to live, but insisted on calling it Jane. Here Jane, here Jane, here Jane, 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 here Jane, here Jane, here Jane, 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 here Jane. I have this magic stats board that keeps track of my missions. At night it glows over my head in neon font. Find love, prevent death. Love found, love lost, deaths prevented, deaths. How could you stop circulating a wound or past pleasure? How to exist on the other end, for dummies. How do you exist with a wound? I won't take part in the secret conspiracy of man. How do you exist with a wound? Well, you have to live in the moment. How do you exist with a wound? You read some books, maybe? How do you exist with a wound? Truthfully, you just do. To-do list. Wean myself off of untamed night. Begin the effort of my life. Pinpoint the rogue light which blinds me. Contain the friction. Clean the upstairs bathroom. Get cat food. You pit. The stir. You. Sitting in the middle. I saw you. When does everything turn to symbols? The whole world representing itself, one thing meaning another, nothing itself. I cannot change the past, only ruin the future. I am no one here, convinced into being or something. I cannot change the past, only ruin the future. Okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready to begin the effort of my life. I've done everything necessary to clear way. My brain is all ordered and the timing is perfect. Yes, let's start now. I'm so excited I can't wait. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.